Rural Montana, USA. Present day, the story begins when a massive alien vessel crashes into a remote valley during a thunderstorm. Local farmer Jake discovers the wreckage while checking on his cattle. The ship is enormous, easily the size of 3 football fields, and appears to be made of an unknown metallic substance that shimmers with an odd blue-green hue. Military forces, led by Colonel Brooks, quickly secure the area. Scientists arrive within hours, including lead researcher Dr. Kate and engineer Mike. Initial scans reveal the ship is completely dead. No power, no life signs, no active systems. The alien crew appears to have evacuated before impact. The humans discover that the ship's hull is made of a material stronger than any known metal, yet surprisingly light. Inside, they find advanced technology that seems beyond current human understanding. Energy conduits that run like veins through the walls, crystalline control panels, and what appears to be a massive central core chamber. Dr. Kate's team begins documenting everything. They find no bodies, but discover abandoned personal items that suggest the aliens were humanoid but taller, with different hand structures. The ship's design indicates a highly advanced civilization with technology centuries ahead of humanity. The government decides to study the vessel in secret. They establish a classified research facility around the crash site, bringing in the world's best engineers and scientists. The official story claims it was a meteor impact, but word slowly leaks that something extraordinary was found. As the team explores deeper into the ship, they discover that while the main systems are offline, some subsystems still function weakly. Emergency lighting flickers occasionally, and strange humming sounds echo through the corridors. The ship seems to be in some kind of hibernation mode rather than completely dead. The part ends with the team making their first major breakthrough. They manage to power up a small section of the ship using Earth's electrical grid. The moment power flows through the alien systems, something awakens. Deep in the ship's core, lights begin to pulse with a rhythm that seems almost like a heartbeat. 6 months after discovery, research team has grown to over 200 specialists. They've learned to read basic alien symbols and understand that this ship was called the Wanderer, a deep space exploration vessel that had been traveling for thousands of years. Engineer Mike leads the reverse engineering efforts. His team discovers that the ship's technology operates on principles that challenge human physics. The power systems don't use nuclear or chemical energy, but something that manipulates space itself. The weapon systems are inactive, but their design suggests capabilities far beyond human weapons. Dr. Kate makes a disturbing discovery in the ship's databanks. The aliens, who called themselves the Travelers, were fleeing from something. Their records speak of a great enemy that consumes worlds, a force that had been hunting them across the galaxy. The ship crashed not due to accident, but because they were damaged in battle. The team realizes that the Travelers abandoned their ship, not because it was broken, but because they were dying from radiation exposure sustained during their escape. They left the ship behind, hoping that whoever found it might complete their mission to build a weapon capable of stopping their enemy. Hidden in the ship's deepest levels, the humans find construction blueprints and materials for something beyond Theo. Travelers called the Final Answer, a weapon designed to destroy entire fleets. But building it requires technology the humans don't yet possess. Colonel Brooks pushes for weaponization, while Dr. Kate argues for more research. The tension between military and scientific goals creates conflict within the team. Meanwhile, global intelligence agencies become aware of the project, and international pressure mounts for shared access to the technology. Mike's engineering team makes breakthrough after breakthrough. They learn to interface human computers with alien systems, creating hybrid technology that combines both civilizations' strengths. The ship slowly comes back to life under human control, its systems adapting to human operation methods. The part ends with a shocking discovery. The ship's long-range sensors detect movement in the outer solar system. Something is coming, and the ship's automated systems recognize it as the enemy the travelers were fleeing from. Humanity has perhaps 2 years before contact. Asterisk 1 year after discovery, the project becomes humanity's highest priority. Resources pour in from every major nation as the truth spreads. Earth faces an extinction-level threat. The crashed ship becomes the center of the largest engineering project in human history. Jake, the farmer who found the ship, becomes an unlikely hero when it's discovered he has an intuitive understanding of the alien systems. His simple, practical approach often solves problems that stumped the scientists. He becomes the bridge between human thinking and alien technology. Under Mike's leadership, teams work around the clock to transform the ship from explorer to weapon. They strip out scientific equipment and replace it with human-built weapon systems enhanced by alien technology. The ship's hull is reinforced, its power systems upgraded, and its engines modified for combat. Maneuvers. Dr. Kate's team focuses on understanding the enemy from the traveler's records. They learn of a species called the Devourers, beings that consume the life force of entire planets. They travel in vast fleets, overwhelming civilizations with superior numbers and technology. Dozens of species have fallen before them. The transformation isn't just technological, it's social. Humanity unites in ways never seen before. Engineers from rival nations work side by side. Ancient enemies share resources and knowledge. The crashed ship becomes a symbol of human determination and ingenuity. Colonel Brooks coordinates with military leaders worldwide to develop tactics for the coming battle. They realize that the converted ship, now renamed Earth's Vengeance, cannot fight alone. They begin constructing a fleet of smaller vessels based on alien technology. But time is running short. The ship's AI, partially revived and now interfacing with human computers, provides crucial guidance. It shares the traveler's knowledge of devourer weaknesses and battle tactics. The AI seems to approve of human modifications. Noting that humans show a creativity the travelers lacked, construction accelerates as the team overcomes seemingly impossible challenges. They solve the power problem by building fusion reactors. Based on alien designs, they create weapons that combine human explosives with alien energy manipulation. The ship becomes something neither fully human nor alien, but something new. The part climaxes with the completion of the weapon's main system, a cannon that can tear holes in space itself. But testing reveals a problem. The weapon requires more power than Earth's entire electrical grid can provide. The team faces their greatest challenge yet. 18 months after discovery, 6 months until enemy arrival. Power crisis forces humanity to think beyond conventional solutions. Dr. Kate proposes using the Earth's magnetic field itself as a power source, a concept that requires building a network of conductors around the planet. It's ambitious beyond anything ever attempted. Mike leads the global construction effort. Teams work on every continent, building massive conductor arrays that tap into the planet's natural electromagnetic field. The project requires unprecedented cooperation. Nations share resources. Scientists work without patents, and ordinary people volunteer in massive numbers. The ship continues its transformation. Human creativity combines with alien precision to create weapon systems the travelers never imagined. Where the aliens built for efficiency, humans build for devastating power. Where aliens sought precision, humans embrace overwhelming force. Jake becomes the ship's primary pilot, his intuitive connection with the alien systems making him irreplaceable. He spends months learning to think like the ship, until the boundary between human and machine begins to blur. Other crew members worry about the changes in him, but Jake insists he's still human, just enhanced. Dr. Kate makes another crucial discovery in the Travelers' records. The enemy isn't just technologically superior, they're psychologically alien. The Devourers don't understand concepts like sacrifice or creativity. They expect their enemies to follow logical patterns, making them vulnerable to unpredictable human tactics. The weapons testing begins in the deep Pacific. The ship's main cannon, powered by the global grid, creates effects that dwarf nuclear weapons. It tears rifts in space that make reality itself unstable. The weapon works, but each test damages the ship's systems and threatens Jake's sanity. International tensions rise as the deadline approaches. Some nations want to flee Earth rather than fight. Others demand control of the weapon. Colonel Brooks must navigate political warfare while preparing for actual warfare. The unity that marked the project's beginning starts to fracture under pressure. The ship's AI warns that the weapon might be too powerful. It could destroy Earth itself if misused. This creates a moral dilemma. They've created something that might save humanity or end it. The team debates whether to limit the weapon's power or risk everything on maximum effectiveness. Meanwhile, long-range sensors confirm the worst fears. The Devourer fleet is massive, containing hundreds of ships each larger than the converted alien vessel. Humanity faces odds that seem impossible, even with their transformed weapon. The part ends with a critical decision. The team realizes they need to make the ship mobile to be effective in battle, but doing so requires severing its connection to the global power grid. They must choose between staying connected to unlimited power or gaining mobility for tactical advantage. Jake volunteers to pilot the ship alone if necessary, accepting that he might not survive the disconnection from Earth's power network. Asterisk. 2 years after discovery, enemy fleet arrives the Devourer. Fleet emerges from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. Hundreds of biomechanical ships, each one a living weapon designed for planetary consumption. Earth's defenders realize their single converted ship faces impossible odds. But retreat isn't an option. Jake pilots Earth's vengeance into deep space. The ship now running on stored power and its hybrid human-alien reactors. Behind him, Earth's nations launch every spacecraft they can build, creating a desperate fleet of converted satellites, armed space stations, and experimental fighters. The first engagement reveals both humanity's strengths and weaknesses. The Devourer's ships are individually superior, but their tactics are predictable. They attack in formations, following patterns that have worked for millennia. Human unpredictability catches them off guard. Earth's defenders use suicide runs, false retreats, and impossible maneuvers that confuse the enemy. Dr. Kate coordinates the battle from Earth's surface, using the global conductor network to boost the ship's power at critical moments. The planet itself becomes part of the weapon system, channeling its magnetic field through space to strengthen. Jake's attacks. Mike leads desperate repair efforts as Earth's vengeance takes massive damage. The ship holds together through human engineering and alien durability, but each hit pushes it closer to failure. The crew works miracles of improvisation, replacing alien components with human alternatives and keeping systems running through pure determination. The battle's turning point comes when Jake realizes the ship's AI has been hiding something. The weapon can be overcharged beyond safe limits. The ship would be destroyed, but the resulting explosion would create a chain reaction that could eliminate the entire Devourer fleet. It's a suicide mission that could save Earth. Colonel Brooks makes the hardest decision of his life. He orders Jake to proceed with the overcharge, but Jake refuses to sacrifice himself alone. The entire crew volunteers to stay, and Earth's remaining defenders move in to provide cover for the final attack. As the weapon charges to lethal levels, strange things happen. The boundary between human and alien technology dissolves completely. Jake becomes something more than human. his consciousness merging with the ship's AI and Earth's power grid. He sees the universe as the travelers did, but thinks like a human. The climax arrives as Jake fires the overcharged weapon directly into the heart of the Devourer fleet. The explosion tears reality itself, creating an expanding sphere of destruction that consumes enemy ships faster than they can retreat. The chain reaction spreads through their formations, turning their own numbers against them. But the victory comes at a cost. Earth's vengeance is destroyed in the blast, taking Jake and his crew with it. The planet's power grid is severely damaged. Humanity has won, but the price paid for survival will be remembered forever. The story ends with Dr. Kate standing in the Montana Valley where it all began. The crash site has become a memorial to both the travelers who brought hope and the humans who completed their mission. Earth begins rebuilding, but now with alien technology integrated into human civilization. A new age has begun. Humanity has proven itself worthy of survival and earned its place among the stars. The crashed alien ship that seemed like humanity's and became the foundation of its future. And somewhere in the wreckage, systems still hum with power, suggesting that Jake's sacrifice might not have been as final as it appeared. The end. Asterisk.